Hello, everybody. It's Scott Johnson here. You know me, and you probably are tired of hearing from me, but guess what? I've got good news. Somebody is here with me today that will just, I think, inspire you. You're sitting around right now going, I got a creative idea, something I want to try to put out in the world, and then you're not sure how you can pull the trigger and make it happen. Well, we're going to inspire you to do that today. With me is an old friend. It's weird to say that because when I first met him, he was 7, and I was a long time ago. Hold on. How old are you now?
I'm 18 now. I turned 19 this year.
18 years old, 19 this year. That's an insane thing to hear out of anyone's mouth. That makes me feel very old, and I am old now. But when I first met you, I think I was just out of my 30s, and now I'm very happily in my mid-50s. Anyway, this is Ethan White, and Ethan White is an old pal of the family. He is a really, really smart kid. Used to be my neighbor. Used to have a class where I taught him and his sister, and we just got really close to this family, think the world of them. And one of the things I always liked about Ethan was his propensity towards art and writing and creativity. And every week when I saw him, it was a chance to kind of see what he'd been doing in this notebook of his. You'd bring this notebook, little spiral bound notebook, open it up, and it'd be full of these crazy ideas coming out of this kid. And it was like, wow. I don't remember being quite this creative when I was his age. And so I would always, really say, yeah, that'd be great. And he'd say, I'm going to make a book. And I'd say, you should make a book. That'd be a great thing for you to do. And then kind of in the back of my head going, well, when you're a kid, you think you know what you want until you get to a certain age. And then you kind of don't want that, and which is totally normal. That's everybody. Everybody has different interests in their life, and those things sometimes change. But you didn't. You went ahead and made the thing that you said you were going to do.
Oh.
Are you surprised that you ended up making a book, writing a book?
Yeah, no, there's no way I could do it on my own. I needed so much hand-holding and so many people that, push me in the right direction, help me out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like, here, I'll show everybody the book. The book is called, I'm going to say this wrong, but I think it's Susquehannock. Am I saying it right?
Susquehannock.
Susquehannock. Mm-hmm. Ook, not ook. Okay.
Ook.
This is the title of the book, written by Robert Ethan White. That is his full name, but we know him as Ethan. When I first got the copy of the book, my first inclination was to see where you were, because it was the photo of the author on here. And sure enough, there he is on the bottom with really long hair. And I'm like, yeah, dude, living that hippie life.
I took a cool metal photo in my attic. I was like, I'll look really handsome if I do this.
You took your own shot? I love that.
Well, no, I didn't. My dad's a photographer, so he helped me a little out with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Oh, that's right. Your dad's super talented too. So that's the thing. We're talking about a family that's just got a lot of talent in them. His sister is an incredible artist in her own right, and just following you guys do the stuff you do has been nothing but a breath of fresh air for me. And I was really excited just to sit down and talk about this stuff with you and talk about what it takes to write a book at your age and kind of what the response has been. I've had it just long enough to skim it a little bit, to do a little bit of research on it. I can't wait to fully read the thing, which I'm going to do soon. I have to finish this book I started called The Devils, and I'm completely hooked on right now. As soon as that's done, up next. But I wanted to get into what it takes, especially somebody at your young age, to do this. I'll start by saying this isn't something that I had an option to do when I was 17, 18.
Right.
This sort of thing didn't exist for me because there was no internet, at least as we know it today. That would come about 10 years later. And certainly there weren't tools to go self-publish your own book, which is not all that common now. You see a lot of successful TV or even film rights getting sold off books that were actually self-published, like on Amazon or some other format.
Yeah.
Was there at some point where you just went, I can just do this on my own? I don't have to submit this to publishers or dink around all this time and get rejected?
Oh, no. I didn't even know what the process would be like at first. I thought I was going to have to look for publishers. I thought I had no idea what the process was at first. All it was a teacher approaching me and being like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, sure. That's
great. That's good to hear. You left here and found some teachers that encouraged you.
Almost all of my English teachers. Let me rephrase that. All of my English teachers at my school have been a huge help and inspirations, and have really helped me become passionate about English and writing.
Did you feel like I don't know why this is. I think this is important to hang on to for a second. it feels like when somebody has a teacher in their life, either one individual one sometimes is all anyone ever gets that they can remember or that really inspired them. But it sounds like you've had
I got three.
Yeah, 3 in a row is pretty strong. How it seems like that's a massive reason to feel encouraged, to keep moving, to make your book go.
Definitely. I'm going to be honest in saying I didn't even read that much up until senior year. Not as much as I should have been. Not as much as you need to be to write a book.
Sure.
And it was some teachers. It's like they each had their own little job. One teacher made me just feel very, also like special and understood, while another teacher helped me, realize, wait a minute, these old books are incredible. These are some of the best things I've ever read. And other people, there's my teacher that helped me actually write it and stuff. These people have been incredible to me, and incredible influences.
I don't think I ever told you this, but you're basically me as a kid. So even at your young age, like 8 or 9 years old, you seemed. There were moments where I'd just go, "Oh, this is me."
I liked Thundercats.
Yeah, he likes the Thundercats. He's 8 years old and he likes Thundercats, which is a big deal for somebody who
born in 2006.
Yeah, for somebody who very much remembers Thundercats. I mean, you were born the year the Wii came out. Think about that, right? Yeah. It's a little weird. My son's only 5 years older than you, or something. 6 years older, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. So time is meaningless to me anymore. But I remember the time thinking, this kid is a lot like me, which means that it's going to be really important that the adults around him give him the rope he needs to do the creative things he wants to do. And that if they give him that, they give him the tools and the room to do it, that he'll do it and he'll take off and figure it out on its own. And I'm so happy to hear you had that many teachers in a row, because I can't say all my English teachers were like that. In fact, I can tell you they weren't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They thought I was a goofball. They didn't like me very much. And times have changed. People recognize creativity in different ways now, how that gets expressed and then how they react to it, and depending on the school and the teacher and everything. But there's just more opportunity now than I had. So I'm really glad about that.
And even the beginning of my high school experience, I still wasn't very passionate. I walked into junior and senior year and they were saying like, no, we're going to prepare for the class. Here's some books you need to have read. And I hadn't read any of them because that's so terrible. The last school was, I didn't even know most of the classics. And I was like, I'm behind. But lucky for me, I'm a hopeless nerd and a loser, and I read The Great Gatsby for fun. So I think I turned out okay, and I just got lucky because I got to experience Dead Poets Society 3 times.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Good point. Now, you were always also a younger or an older soul in a smaller body.
Oh, yeah.
I would come to this class, and some of the kids would be just like, they're still stuck in SpongeBob land or whatever it happened to be that they were into.
I do love
and you were going, by the way, have you heard the theory that the something Batman when Superman comes, right? Like a lot of like deeper nerd talk.
Right.
That I usually only get from my adult friends.
The deep nerd talk.
Yeah. And that was unusual for me to run into with a kid like that.
Sure.
Obviously, you've grown into an adult and you have retained those things. And I think that's actually a good thing. But I would argue, as much as you hadn't been reading prior to you deciding to go for it with the writing, you were creating a ton, and that's key.
Yeah.
Like consuming is one thing; it's important. It helps inspire you. It's how people iterate and all of that.
Yeah.
So consumption matters, but I think creation, even with the lack of consumption, is actually probably what will have helped you in the long run.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. So I'm excited. Tell me about the name of this thing. So hopefully I got it close.
Susquehanna.
But what's that based on? Give us a kind of a basic breakdown.
Place.
So this is a real place in Pennsylvania.
It's called that real place is called Susquehanna because it's an hour from my house.
Nice.
And it's down by the Susquehanna River. I remember I came here and I was telling my friends about it, and they were like, "What's the Susquehanna River?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, not everyone has been to Pennsylvania, and that river's just everywhere. When if you go anywhere, you throw a rock and you'll hit the river." So it was moving there for the first time. Whenever I write anything, location means a lot to me because it's what you're constantly surrounded by.
Sure.
And so moving to Pennsylvania, this was a very new experience. It was a state I'd never been to. And so there's this one river that's just everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. I see it everywhere. Every time I passed over a bridge, I swear it was the Susquehanna. Maybe it was just the area I lived. But there was all sorts of it's like it just kept showing up. And then I went camping a couple times with some friends and stuff, and with my church and stuff. And we would go down to this little place called Susquehannock.
Yeah.
And we would go to different like notable locations there, and it was like it just kept striking me, I guess, differently. Like I just kept thinking about this place, how it was kind of weird, it was kind of creepy. And I specifically remember there was a day I went, there's a place called Hawk Point, it's in the book.
Yeah.
And the guy, main character, he stands in the front and
This would be Dean
Higgins.
Yep. A miserable old man living a worthless life in a little river community called Susquehannock, wasting away in a shack in the Susquehanna River. Oh man, that's a great pull right there.
You think so?
Yeah,
thanks.
I do. It got me excited. I can't wait to crack into this and really read about it. But this is interesting because as a kid, I think every kid from the age of like 10 to about 16 needs to have this kind of place in their head. And I don't just mean imagined. I mean like an actual place that you can then build on. You could argue that 95% of Stephen King's writing is based on this place that he has in his head, and that place is mostly where he's from. It's Maine. It's that kind of coastal old town community where something weird happens.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Like you're very much along those lines, and I think that's a really great place or a great thing for kids just to have around them. So you can have your stories and people can say, I heard they found a body down there. I think something's haunted.
Sure.
It's like the perfect age for that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And the other thing is though, that I think is kind of fun. I wanted to do my own spin. I didn't want to just, hop on the tropes or anything. It's not like Susquehannock's not a haunted place.
Right.
It's not a weird or even really creepy place. It's just kind of ratty. It's kind of scrappy. And there's, it feels kind of middle of nowhere.
Kind of lost in time a little bit.
Kind of. I think that's exactly kind of the point. A lot of it is the river community that the main character lives in. That I just made up. It's just a bunch of shacks on the river that are kind of separated from the rest of, isolated from the cities and from civilization. And that's actually one of the key conflicts is his separation from humanity in a way. Now he's kind of wasting away, bitter. At civilization, just kind of living this dirty, rough life, fishing for things with literal spoons on the ends, licking peanut butter off of because he just ate with that spoon and now he's going to put it on a hook and fish with it, kind of thing.
These are some gritty themes, which is a little not surprising, but when I knew you when you were much younger, a lot of bright, shiny stuff coming out of your notebook, but then occasionally you'd have something weird.
Something a little
something
dark
off.
And evil.
And I'd go, he's going somewhere with this. And it made it a much more interesting conversation later. I'd talk to Kim or somebody and say, you should see what Ethan's doing. That stuff is cool. It's creepy. It's whatever. And so it looks like you kind of kept going that way. What would you put this, like what genre are we talking about if you had to squeeze it into one?
A lot of... I think...
Not full horror, because I don't get that vibe from it.
It's not. So that's the problem is I feel like... For idiots, I have to call it horror because it's like, all right, it's got monsters and it's dark and spooky. Like, sure, it's horror, but it's not. I'm going to be real with you. My book's not scary. I don't expect you to go, reading it or anything. It's unsettling. It's unnerving. I've been told by many people it's extremely uncomfortable to read, but it's never scary.
Sure.
It's just it's a little gross.
Yeah.
It's a little it's gritty. It's grim. It's really depressing. And it's also but that's the other funny thing is that I didn't want to just do slasher crap either. It's I like to also think it's a little redeeming. It's a little lighthearted. It's humorous in some parts, to me at least. And it's sweet.
You think it's important to have a little humor injected into your stuff? Yeah.
If you have too much of anything, it's what's the word? It's deplorable, I guess. To read something if it's too much, you just walk out feeling, wow, I feel awful after reading that.
Sure.
And so I wrote a book, sure, I think it has a redeeming ending and whatever, but the middle is I like to think is balanced with at least some fun or some kind of weirdness to go along with all of this, like, wow, this is awful and depressing and what a terrible thing that's happened to this poor old man.
If you could name like a lesson that you can take away from the process of creating this, because clearly you're not done. You got other ideas for other cool stuff in the future. I know you've got a very busy couple years ahead of you, but I've got so much time. You're so young. What lessons did you learn from this to carry to your next novel, to your next book, to your next short story?
I didn't know if you meant like what moral the book is giving, or what did I take out of it?
Yeah, what did this process teach you? Because my guess is, from a just a discipline standpoint, there's a lot that goes into writing this, right?
Sure.
It's not just simply, I have a funny idea, I'm gonna write it down, now it's a book. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah,
so learning how to do that.
Everything starts like that. Though.
Sure. Are you your own editor, or who did you use?
I was my own editor with some of those wonderful teachers and some friends that made suggestions and helped me really get the grammar down and stuff. But yes, for the most part, I was my own editor.
Well, that's awesome.
There's a lot of mistakes in it. Yeah. I'm looking back through. I was like, it's real now. And I looked through and I was like, this looks terrible.
Well, the good news is you live in a time where, other than publishing runs where you actually have to print the stuff, changes can come in digital forms that change things immediately, right?
Yeah.
Even audiobook, you can do a quick reread or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be.
It has to be over at some point, though.
But that I agree. Like, at some point you have to let it go, right? I don't know that there's such a thing as a perfect edited.
Oh, there will never be
book.
A perfect story.
Right, or story for that matter. And certainly no perfect edit.
No.
But there is some happy place where it's the right amount of worry, of writing, of rewriting, of transcripts, of early drafts and then finals, and then throwing that away and starting over, like all the things that writers go through to get a final book on the table. There is a happy place for that. You'll probably find that in your second or third book or something like that. But has this experience put you on a path where you want to keep writing?
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah. Oh, all the way. I already have all sorts of ideas. I'm writing a short story right now. It's nearly done. I just need to focus and do it. I'm going to do that before I leave or any other plans. My last official work for the next couple years it might be called, I'm down between two titles. It's either going to be called the patron saint of trash and good fortune, or let me tell you about my friend who's rich and dead.
Oh, man.
I'm between those two titles.
Both of those are compelling. I could see why.
And then I have a bunch of other ideas for deep in the future and stuff.
Well, are you, have your parents read the book?
Yes.
What's that like to be, because you're still pretty young. You're just barely legal enough to vote and drive, or I guess you can drive when you're 16, but you're an adult now. But just sheer weeks ago, you can count it in weeks, even though I think your birthday is a year ago? When are you 19?
October.
Okay, so it's a ways. But you were just now someone's kid. You still are, but you know what I mean?
Right.
They were fully responsible for you. Did they read this and go, my gosh, the stuff in his head, where the heck did he get all that? Do you ever have those conversations with your mom or your dad?
No, I think they were like,
they kind of knew.
To be expected, I guess. Yeah,
we all knew a little.
Nothing's new, I guess. Yeah, for them at least.
Yeah. Well, your parents are nerds too. I've always liked this about your parents. Yes. they're big time nerds. They were like a Star Trek first family kind of thing, And every time I'd see him, your mom would say something like, hey, did you hear about so-and-so or this movie or this thing coming or whatever? She just knew stuff.
We're still like that.
Yeah.
That's still our house.
I think that's great.
Yeah, we live around the TV.
Yeah. And you guys just a lot of pop culture knowledge, a lot of that sort of thing, which is kind of hilarious because on the other hand, as a fellow parent across the way, I also knew that you just had good fundamental family stuff going on. There was a lot of love and respect and all of those things. But you had this layer of fun and cultural relevance that was also, I think, a really healthy thing for you guys to share and not just have.
Right.
You always hear of these families where, well, the kid's into this thing. I don't know what he's doing in Minecraft or whatever it is.
Right.
And you didn't have that.
No, they always, maybe they don't always necessarily understand some of the things, but they always listen.
Yeah.
And they're always willing to understand. They're always very supportive.
I remember you and your buddies, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but you and your buddies would sit out on the lawn out in front of your place and trade Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to kind of marvel at this because I'd go by with the dog or something and see you guys doing it. And you'd have these big books laid out with all the little pockets, all the cards and everything. And then you were negotiating like governments over what to do.
I remember
and who to get what. Yeah. And it was kind of intense because obviously trades weren't happening freely. You had to like have the right. Yeah, they mattered.
I don't think you understood how important those were.
Those were a huge deal. And I remember at the time thinking, man, do his parents get what he's up to with this stuff? Like, how deep do they understand what he's into? And I think that they knew, they understood.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
they
great.
Always have.
I think that's great. They've not just been a good support for you, but they also like it. It's not like they're, those parents that are like, well, we just want to support Bobby. Mm-hmm. They're like, nah, he's doing cool stuff and we're into it too, kind of. And one day you're going to retire them. That's how I look at it with my kids.
No, they weren't just supportive of the book. I made them cry.
Oh, goodness.
I've made many people cry, I've been told.
Is it because what's in there? You got stuff in there that gives people...
From what I've been told, yes. It's very heartwarming and heart-melting.
Oh, see?
I'm glad. That is my goal, is if I can give that effect to people, if it can affect them personally. Well, on the back of the book, I wrote in my little blurb, I want to touch someone personally, and then everyone's been teasing me about the way I worded that afterwards. I'm like, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you meant when you wrote that.
No.
I do that all the time. Don't feel bad.
Thank you.
I say stuff that I don't
mean. Now
mean.
it's on my book. That will be my legacy for the rest of my life.
Well, I think you're lucky. My mom still doesn't know how to even describe what I do. She doesn't know. She doesn't get it. All this. She goes, oh, he's just with his stuff doing his thing. She doesn't know how to say it.
Yeah.
All these years. And she's in her 80s now. She still doesn't really get it. So you are lucky to have a mom and a dad.
I'm very lucky.
Who understand it. Yeah. Right. And they see this sort of thing and they're proud of it. And not just by default because they have to be, but because they understand what you did, how you did it, how you got there, how to foster that creativity, all that stuff.
Right.
And there's not enough of that.
They read a lot.
Yeah. So your parents have read it and they've enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. They read it front to back all the way?
Oh, yeah, all the way.
How many pages are we talking about?
My whole family has. It's 350.
Jeez.
Something like that.
Dude, how long did it take you?
10 months. I was kind of speedrunning it in some ways, but in other ways, I think I did pretty okay for time constraints.
That's great.
I wanted to get it out before school was up, so...
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So that's another interesting question. I remember high school. I remember that last year being a mix of strange pressure points. Lots of pressure from teachers to finish things out in a certain way. Lots of pressure from parents to do that and then be ready for whatever next stage of life I had ahead of me. Pressure from girlfriends and friends and everybody else in the mix.
Yeah.
It felt like almost everybody but me. I didn't know what I was supposed to pressure myself for. I didn't know what
That's
I
exactly
wanted to do.
how I feel.
Yeah. So this is a familiar feeling.
Yes.
So how did you transcend all that and write a book in the last year of your public school life? Because I don't know if you can feel this yet, but the minute you leave high school, the minute you go, oh, that's not as important. I mean, it's important, but it's not like the way it feels important when I'm there every day. That's gone now.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, it's this weird thing in my past. I rely on parts of it. I still have some friends from it, but I'm off in a whole different direction. This is nothing like school anymore. Yeah. And I can tell you right now, that feeling just gets more and more that way over time. You'll be talking about your 10-year anniversary or 10-year reunion with friends, possibly someone you're married to at that time. Like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go?
Right.
And you're going to go, I don't recognize these people. I don't remember what this was like.
Yeah.
Why did I care so much about what this dude thought? Those sorts of things. I don't know how far into those feelings you are, but I have to think that if I'd have done something as cool as write a book during the last chunk of my schooling, it would have helped me with the perspective switch of high school matters to it doesn't matter at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain.
I mean, it helped that I don't have a ton of other hobbies. I have things I like to do.
You still like playing games, right?
Right. I love. I'm a person who I think people will think because I wrote a book that I'm like, I'm high society. Suddenly, I only like reading books. I'm a person of the opinion that all media is created equal, and that you can get something just as important out of a video game, a song, a movie, or a book as anything else.
Yeah.
They're all integral, and I learn from all of it. And there's all a piece of that in my book.
Sure.
Piece of everything.
So in the last, in 10 years, let's say from your age 10 till now, do you look at gaming or video games, any particular video games, and go, those were moments of inspiration that led me to this? I always want to ask that because your generation, if there's any generation that is just known
affected
games,
by something.
Gaming from minute born till now, you're born in a relatively modern age of 3D gaming and all of that, what that implies, and you live that entire time, and you live 18 years of your life under that umbrella. Which for me, that kind of stuff didn't start happening until I was in high school. Really, I mean, in earnest anyway. It must be, that has to have provided something different than, say, authors before.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So as much as, a very old and widely accepted book has helped me, I think video games have had just as important of an impact on that. I guess if I had to pick one that's very reminiscent, and that probably was the biggest influence for the book, it's Alan Wake.
Oh,
that is one of my favorite games of all time.
Literally about an author, that game.
Literally. And it's, it creates things with his pages. Like I've only had one guy actually stop me and be like, that sounds kind of like Alan Wake. And I'm like, don't tell anyone.
Get some big inspiration.
Some people are going to be like, I don't think it's a ripoff. It's very, very different.
Sure.
But it was a huge impact. The tone, the storytelling, the feel of that game. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that game so much, and that is probably the biggest impact. In retrospect, I also am I didn't play it at the time, but now I'm a huge Doom fan. And looking back, I realized maybe there's a reason I like Doom so much, because this book shares a lot of themes.
Well, you were like wall-to-wall Kirby when I knew you, when you were little.
Oh yeah. And I still love Kirby. I still love
Kirby's great.
I still love all of that stuff. But yeah, if there was one thing that was a huge impact on this book, it's Alan Wake.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you play the new one, Alan Wake 2?
No, I don't have the new one yet.
Oh, it's really good.
I've heard it's really, really good. Yeah.
I think you'd like it even more.
I'm sure it would. Yeah.
It'll be hard to cram all that in with everything you got going on.
I didn't play the new Doom either. I don't have the.
Oh, it's good too.
I know.
It's really good.
I need to get on the new stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, there's lots to catch up. You're young. You got a lot of time, a lot of room in front of you.
Yeah.
One of the things I thought was interesting about you as a kid, and I sense this is still true of you now, but when you were a lot younger, from my perspective, the adult teacher in the room, I would get used to the dynamic of the different personalities and how they interacted with each other.
Yeah.
And there's always somebody who's a little more prone to maybe being a little mean or bully-ish. And there's maybe other kids who are a little less that, or the opposite, or a little sheepish, or a little standoffish, or shy, or whatever. You were this weird category of your own.
It's a good start.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, except that you would basically, if anybody gave you crap for anything, you would blow it off. You were just like, whatever, and you keep doing whatever you wanted to do. And to those who were maybe the shy or the skittish ones, you were always very kind to them and made them feel comfortable. You really did. This is something we notice as an adult, because I don't think when kids behave that way when they're 7 or 8, they don't even know they're doing it. It's just their natural personality trajectory, I think.
Yeah.
So watching you do that at the time, I was like, well, this is perfect. He's got the best of both worlds. He's got a kind heart for those who need it, but he also is going to just blow off garbage from people who give him heat. Because there's always, what's the old phrase, 80% of the people in the world No. 10% of the people in the world that you'll ever meet are going to hate your guts for whatever reason they have.
Yeah.
10% are going to love you no matter who you are or what you do. And the other 80% don't care. They just don't know you. You're just never going to know them. And it just seemed like you kind of had that figured out, even though you didn't know what that was.
I really didn't.
Yeah, but you just blew it off. It was like amazing. And I would see other kids behave poorly toward you, and you would go, okay, whatever. And you'd be off to do whatever you wanted to do. Sure. I think that's not only just good character trait, but I wonder if some of that is you being it's hard to explain, like from an author position of observing things happening, not getting bunged up in the things that are happening, not worried. Like I can't speak to too much of your high school life because you'd moved away by then.
Right.
But high school's a minefield of personalities, behavior, emotions, relationships, all the stuff that comes with the high school experience.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you kind of were like that there, where you were just like an inch above it all a little bit? Not in a cocky way, but like
I never felt like that for a long time. I think everyone has to go through the dark ages. Like they have to go through some kind of experience where they have to, I don't know, wade through their lowest points in their life. But if you ask me now, I think now I'm hitting the point and I'm realizing as a person, like, okay, I have my opinion and you have yours. And I guess if there's one thing that, like, I guess that you were saying that does kind of resonate, that I do think that I do okay with sometimes, is I try not to villainize people or even really, put people above other people. I think that I just try to look at it the way it is and I write it the way it is. It's without opinion. And then what I do is I make characters very opinionated because people are very opinionated.
Sure.
So it's really fun to narrate something from, I guess, my point of view, which is, everyone's all wrapped up in all sorts of things about politics or opinions or something. And I will hear people I know and love say, I hate this type of person. And I say, okay, that is a logical reason. I understand that. But I can't say I understand. I don't want to hate that person either, because it's not fun.
No,
either.
It's not, is it?
It's awful. It's an awful feeling.
This I always wonder about this about your generation, because we don't really know yet. You're all just hitting 18. We don't know we don't know what you as a whole mean as a generation.
I don't think we know it.
You guys probably don't know either.
Figure it out.
But I feel like I'm an optimist by nature. I tend to think that things get better over time.
Me too, yeah.
And I think that you guys have this unique experience of a chunk of your childhood was during the pandemic. A large chunk of it, which a lot of it happened during the exact same time and is still happening now, is in some very perilous political times.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, when I was 18, I'm trying to think what I was worried about. Whether I had to get up early on Saturday to do chores after, when school ended. What were they expecting me to do in the house? How much were those Metallica tickets?
Right.
My back tire may have a little air, maybe a little low on air. Those were the things I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But I feel like society, with its on all the time, thousands of screens everywhere all the time, is constantly going bah, 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 bah in your face in a way that they didn't do with me. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm on pins and needles to see how your generation handles that, because now it's go time.
Yeah.
A little bit, right?
Right.
I mean, it's no huge responsibility for you yet in terms of societal anything, but how that will affect your writing, how that will affect the kinds of jobs you take, what job world even looks like for somebody during a time like this. And I'm not trying to be overly dramatic about it. It's just very, very different.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys will come through it with shining colors and continue to make Gen X look like we dropped the ball, because we probably did. We're not very, whatever. They told us we were lame and we weren't going to amount to much.
Every generation that this is the worst
they really
generation.
do, don't they? Yeah, they really do. I hate that generational stuff, but I do think a lot about kids around 2000, born in 2000 to about 2008. That age range, having to grow up through some of these significant things and be so young while it's happening, it has to be like a big impact. Did that affect the writing of this book? For example, are some of the themes in there reflective of, I don't know, a giant world pandemic or that kind of thing?
No, actually. those are kind of actually more in tune with the ideas I have for the future. What this book I think this one was kind of my personal journey. This one was, here's everything that I feel like a lot of people, including myself, struggle with. Or this is what it means to be suffering, instead of everything is so too much on the outside. Literally, this book is about a guy who gets separated from that. He doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
The one thing he does have to worry about is his own discipline in this world. And he's not disciplined.
Yeah.
He grew up in a kind of a not great household under a lot of terrible circumstances. On top of that, he's dealt a pretty bad hand, and he doesn't make a lot of very good decisions. He makes tons of mistakes, and and the thing I really wanted to nail in the beginning, I don't know, anyone who's read it if they agree, but I like to think he's pretty deplorable at the beginning. I've had people tell me I hated him so much at the beginning, and I love that because that's exactly what I wanted to do. Because I've also been told after people finish it, they realize it's them, the same way it was me. I want you to look at it and realize, oh, this person I hate so much. It's everything I hate about myself. And this character's journey, and them getting better. This is me getting better. This is me learning, like, I shouldn't do things like this, or this is how I should treat people, or this is how I can be better. And so this book actually has very little to do with any kind of political statement, or any kind of, stand in terms of, anything as of recently that's, I guess, going on in the world.
Sure.
I really just wanted to write a book that could hopefully the way classics work is they can apply to any generation, anywhere.
Yeah.
So if it hits classic status, that means that it's timeless. And I want it to apply to anyone in the world.
Yeah.
Because hopefully anyone in the world can relate to, I've done something bad and I want to be better.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think that's a very optimistic message, despite the fact that even by the cover of this thing, you look at it and go, oh, something dark and scary going on here.
Yeah.
But, there's light at the end of that tunnel. Do you think you'll ever poke your head into like science fiction, fantasy,
That's
any other genres?
actually kind of what my next ideas are. I've had the short story right now is science fiction. The idea I'm really excited about right now, who knows if I'll still be excited about it like 2-3 years into the future. But I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I'll tread into dystopian or sci-fi or something.
It's my favorite.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I'm
Mad
super
Max
into that.
crap back here. I'll tell you all you need to know about my love of that genre. But
Yeah, I'm interested in that. But honestly, I don't really want to be a genre writer. Some people have asked me they asked me did you read Stephen King to prepare for your book? And I was like, I've never read any Stephen King in my life. I will. I'm sure he's great.
You'd probably really like it. In fact, I'll just give you a quick recommendation.
Oh, sure.
Here are the two I would read. I would read The Stand. That is my favorite standalone novel of all time. Love it. I think thematically it will speak to a lot of the stuff we talked about here today. And it's also unusual for him. It's not a horror novel. It's like
That's cool.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just the weirdest book. I love it so much. Very apocalyptic, but it's also. I don't even know how to describe The Stand. The Stand is an all-timer. I love that book so much, and I've read it 5 times, and I still don't know how to describe it to people. And then the other is his Dark Tower series, Dark Towers 1 through 7. Those books are so good, and it's basically his answer to, Robert Jordan or somebody with like a gigantic library of a series that's gone on forever. And it's very unusual. It also connects to The Stand in a weird way.
That's cool.
So those are the two I'd go for.
Yes.
He's a great author. I've read almost everything he's ever read or written. Wow. I like a lot of it, but
it's a lot.
It's a lot. He's got a huge library, and he's a an all-timer for a reason. But but those in particular just really are right up my alley.
That's great. I think I didn't know anything about him. I had no opinion, but one day I went in a bookstore and I was like, hey, The Shining is on the shelf. I picked it up and I read the first page and I was like, that's a good hook. I like that. I was like, that's a solid beginning.
He's good at hooks. If he struggles with anything, it's endings, but his beginnings are often very strong. So.
Yeah. No, my point is though, is that like everyone was saying like, well, then if you didn't read him, how did you write horror? And I was like, because I've read a couple other things and it was my own ideas. I don't want to steal from other people. I don't want to be a horror writer. In fact, I don't know if I'll ever write horror again, or thriller, or whatever you would call this.
Sure.
I kind of want to give it a go, kind of like I grew up with Steven Spielberg a lot.
Sure.
So I really like him.
Sure.
And what he does that's pretty cool is he's written and directed almost every kind of genre in the world.
Sure. That's true.
I think he's done everything. I think I literally saw a thing he said once where he said, I've done every kind of movie except for a Western. And now I want him to make a Western.
Ooh, I would love a Spielberg Western.
Yeah. So
why
like,
hasn't he ever done that?
I don't know. He's making another UFO movie.
Come close with.
So-
I guess Indiana Jones is definitely not a Western. It's more of an adventure action movie, but
I don't
still.
know. So, but like, I kind of want to do that. I want to give everything a shot. You know, I think I could do a unique spin on a bunch of these different things, and if it's not, what the genre normally has in it, like, okay, screw you. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I want this. I'm writing for my own enjoyment, or maybe for an imaginary person. If I enjoy it, then people like me will enjoy it,
Well, your beginnings are very Spielbergian because his first book was a horror movie about his first movie, actual theatrical release, was a horror movie about a giant shark that wants to kill people. Now
Right.
50 years old. That thing just hit its anniversary. And then his next big hits in theaters were E.T., a science fiction story. Like that's you're starting with a little scary and creepy. You're going right to the science fiction. Who knows after that where you'll end up?
You have to write a dinosaurs novel.
Then you got to make you got to have dinosaurs. You got to have war movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got to have a couple spy movies, and then some really iffy kids movies. Whatever. I know people like Hook. I don't like Hook. I hate Hook.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. That's what I have to remind myself.
My family's gonna get mad at me when I say that. Yeah.
Fine. It's not great. It's fine. Well, this is great. I need to tell people where they can get this thing. I want people to grab this book. I know you did the publishing through Lulu.com.
Lulu.com. That's where you can buy it too.
You can buy it there, right?
Yes.
So go check it out.
$19.99.
Nice. Nice price. Just search for Susquehannock. It is, if you just do SUSQ, it will autocomplete and be the rest. But if you look for Ethan White or Robert Ethan White, you will find his name easily. I went and did all this earlier. It was no problem. Super easy. And NAB has book today, and check it out. And I know we have a bunch of authors who listen to the various shows where this is going to be posted. Love to hear your feedback as well. If you have any thoughts or feelings or any stuff about what we talked about today and like the process of writing and what that's like. And, maybe if you have tips and hints, for Ethan, I'll pass those along.
Yes, please.
But we'd love to hear about it. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about or say before we close things out today?
I feel like I always end every interview or something with this, but I hope if you read it that it affects you. I hope that you can have some fun with some silly monsters like some ribcage spider things and some gore and stuff. I hope you have some face level fun.
Sure.
But I really hope that this can open your eyes and change you as a person as well.
Yeah.
The same way that it kind of helped.
Did that for you, didn't it?
Changed me.
Yeah.
To the extent that I didn't think like my book had all that, I don't know, many cool lines or anything, but one of my wonderful English teachers, I was leaving and she got gifts for all of her favorite students, and she got me a little keychain that quoted my book and had my name on one side, and then on the other side it says he was a man because he was good. And that comes from a line in the book where he says he was a man because he was good, and he was good because he was a man.
So all those other students that didn't get anything, now you know why she only gave it to the best writers in the class. That was the deal. No, that's cool though. And the fact that you had these teachers, I cannot state enough how important that is.
Yeah.
That it's not your parents, it's these third-party independent brains and voices in your life that can see your worth, see your talent, and know where you're headed and know what to tell you to help you, but also see the potential. Not enough kids get that. You got
Right.
really lucky.
I'm forever indebted to them, and I'm still in contact with them too because
great.
they're my friends.
Do that as
too.
long as you can. I had an
Yeah.
art teacher like that who passed away recently, and it was horrible. Died too early, had some kind of crazy cancer.
Yeah.
But this guy had this huge effect on me. I don't think I would have done any of the cool stuff I get to do now without him.
Right.
So you're probably going to feel the same way about these people as
Yeah.
time goes on, and it'll even build, more down the road. They're going to want to hear about when you have kids. They're going to want to get a copy of that next book. Like they're going to want to be a part of Ethan's life
Yeah.
down the road. And I look forward to all the cool stuff you're going to do, dude.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you.
I'm excited too.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for listening. For everybody at home, which is, by the way, about 40,000 people will hear this interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's just the podcast. Then a couple thousand on YouTube. YouTube's not as big for me, but there'll be a fair number over there. No pressure. But
Oh no.
I really do want to hear feedback from people. Let us know what you think. Do you have your own kids? We got a lot of parents out there. You got your own kids you're trying to encourage. I hope this has been helpful for you as well as they attempt to make some cool choices about their creative life, whether it's writing, drawing, whatever. I think you should see his sister's work. Should probably interview her sometime soon because she's also really
so
good.
embarrassed.
Would she be?
Yeah.
She was always a little less. She's a little more camera shy than you.
I'm a little more Looney Tunes. She's a little more.
Yeah, like the Osmond's brother sister thing. He was a little more rock and roll. She was a little more country. You're a little more author. She's a little more drawer, but she's also a little quieter. I like that about her, though. Your sister's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss her too. I wish you guys still lived here, but whatever. We're in the same country. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching, and send us your feedback. You can find all those details at frogpants.com. We'll see you next time.